Yo, what is up guys? And today we are ranking every single One Piece opening, and we're gonna be ranking it as a whole, so in terms of how good it sounds, how visually appealing it is, the nostalgia it brings, and how iconic it is. Let's do it. Okay, so first off on our list guys, we have We Are, and that's an instant S tier from the go. One of the most iconic anime openings of all time, if not the most. Just super iconic, everyone knows it. We can all agree that when we listen to it at the end of the anime, we're all finna cry. It feels almost criminal to rank this lower than S tier, so that's really easy. Okay, so next up on our list we have opening 2 called Believe, and definitely a wholesome anime opening. It really has great vibes from the start with the narrator cooking up. I feel like this opening really captures the wholesome and innocent vibes of pre-time skip, but I do feel like the opening can get repetitive over some time, and the visuals aren't that great, so I think it's a solid B tier. Okay, next up guys, we have opening 3, Hikari E. When you listen to this opening, it definitely hits you with that burst of nostalgia. I think more nostalgic than the previous opening, but the visuals again aren't as impressive and it's not as iconic. So I'm gonna put it B tier as well. I don't want to put it above the previous opening. Okay, next up guys, we have opening 4, and personally, I think this one was one of my least favorites in the whole entire anime. I think it kind of gets repetitive, the visuals aren't as impressive again, and sure it captures the same wholesome vibes, but I would always skip that opening, so I'm gonna have to put it C tier. Alright, next up we have opening 5, Kokoro no Chizu, which is one of my favorite anime openings personally in the whole entire One Piece. I think it really reflects what One Piece is about: the lightheartedness, the adventure, the friends, epicness, and straight up just good vibes. Definitely iconic and brings that burst of nostalgia, so I'm gonna put it A tier. Okay guys, so next up we have opening 6, Brand New World. I think we have our second S tier. Just high energy from the start, really iconic opening. It's definitely a classic. The visuals are good, it sounds really catchy, and really gets you hyped during the Enies lobby arc. So I'm gonna put it in S tier. Okay, next up we have opening 7, which is We Are by the Straw Hat version. And me personally, I'm gonna put that in the D tier just because we already have We Are in opening 1. The only thing that changed was the vocals. I would have preferred if they made a new opening. I feel like the Straw Hats could have made this opening for a fun spin-off, but that's just me, so I'm gonna put it D tier. So next up we have opening 8, and this opening for me wasn't that impressive. I feel like it was kind of repetitive and actually didn't contain that same adventure, good vibes feel as the previous openings. I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of feel like it's a filler opening. Music wise, it isn't that catchy, and the visuals also aren't really that good. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. Okay, so next up we have opening 9, Jungle P, and I can't say I'm a big fan of this opening as well. I think it definitely has that One Piece adventure feel to it, but in terms of how it sounds and the visuals are kind of okay. It's a little mid. I'm gonna have to put it in C tier. Okay, so now we have opening 10. We got We Are remixed by another singer. I do think it's better than D tier just because there's a different singer and the song's a little different, as well as the visuals that are actually fun to look at. So I'm gonna put it C tier. Okay, next up guys, we have Share the World's opening 11, and I really love this opening. The visuals really tell the story of the arc really good, starting lighthearted with wholesome vibes, and then as the opening goes on, it becomes more mysterious, serious, and dark. Just super nostalgic. I'm leaning between A and S tier, but I'm gonna put it in A tier for now, just because I don't think it's quite on the level as the S tier is currently. Okay, next up we have opening 12, Kaze wo Sagashite. I used to actually be a really big hater of this opening, but as you listen to it, it kind of grows on you, and it's actually kind of good. The only reason I was hating because it was in the middle of Marineford, and it's like such a feel-good happy opening, but I think it deserves B tier. It's actually pretty good, guys. And next up we have opening 13, One Day, which is the most emotional opening in the whole entire anime in my opinion. I think it's the first opening that doesn't show the crew just vibing, doing their side quests like playing with water guns. The start to end tells a really great story about Luffy just trying to save his brother and then finding him at the end. It's just really sad, really emotional. The chorus hits, really iconic, nostalgia. Just 10 out of 10, so I'm putting it S tier. Okay, next up we have another banger, Fight Together, opening 14, and I really love this opening. I think it does a really great job with the storytelling. At the start, Luffy taking his head off and just putting it on the floor, and then the end he picks it up and becomes Straw Hat Luffy again. And it goes through the flashbacks of him, Sabo, and Ace, as well as him going through all of his crew. Just a really good opening with the storytelling, and it also sounds really catchy, so I kind of want to put it S tier, but I do feel like it's not as peak, so I'm gonna put it A tier. It's definitely a banger still. Okay, so next up we have opening 15, which is called We Go, and this is the first opening after the time skip. This one, guys, deserves an S tier. because it's really hype, really catchy, really captures the essence of Luffy and the Straw Hat's comeback, and it really has an emotional aspect too when it shows the passing of the Straw Hat with Roger, Shanks, and then Luffy. Just a really banger of an opening. Never fails to make One Piece fans hype when they listen to it, so that's an easy S tier. Okay, next up we have opening 16, Hands Up, which is just a straight banger. Really feel good opening. It really makes you feel happy about life, about One Piece, and just appreciative of the world that One Piece is and all the characters and the adventure. I think it's one of my all-time favorites in terms of musicality and catchiness. Like, you could listen to it for a long time without getting bored. So I think it's deserving of S tier. Next up, we got opening 17, Wake Up. This opening is really fast, really upbeat, and has a lot of energy. It's catchy but can feel repetitive quickly. The visuals are pretty solid, but it doesn't really give you that same impact as the other openings, so I think it's a solid B tier. Next up, we got opening 18, Hard Knock Days. Super catchy opening, sounds great, and the visuals are really nice. There's actually not many faults with this opening, but I'm gonna put it in A tier just because I feel like it's missing that S tier impact slash emotional slash nostalgia that other S tiers bring, but it definitely is one of my favorites. Okay, so next up we have opening 19, which is We Can, and since it starts with We, you would expect the opening to be really good, like We Are or We Go, but personally I think it's kind of mid. Although it's upbeat, it doesn't really get you as hyped for the anime. The song's not as catchy as others, and the visuals aren't that special as well, so I'm gonna put it in C tier. So next up we have opening 20, Hope, and this opening is just a straight up banger. I'm gonna put it S tier from the go. So first off, the opening sounds really amazing. The storytelling is really peak from the very beginning to the end. Really portrays the Whole Cake Island arc very well, especially with Sanji. Plus the visuals are really appealing and really gets you hyped during the arc. Definitely an S tier in my book. Okay, so next up we have opening 21, Superpowers, and this opening is pretty catchy. It's pretty hype. There's really good visuals, but still lacking that iconicness, that classic One Piece opening to be an S tier. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. Okay, so next up we have opening 22, Over the Top. This opening again is similar to the previous one. It's very hype and upbeat. I think there's not much flaws with it. Even the animation's really good and visuals, but it's still lacking that same impact, emotionally nostalgic and iconicness that S tier deserves. So I'm gonna put it A tier. Okay, so next up we have opening 23, Dreamin' On. I think this opening sounds really good. It's definitely feel good vibes. It's not as iconic as other openings. The visuals are great, but in the course they reuse the anime clips, so I'm gonna have to put it B tier in general overall. Okay, next up guys, we have opening 24, Paint, and I can already tell by the intro that listening to it in 10 years will make all of us cry. Then again, you can probably say that with every opening. It sounds great, the visuals are nice, it really makes you appreciate the peak that One Piece is. I'm gonna put it A tier for now. Opening 25, The Peak, and just like its name, it truly is the peak. S tier for sure. First off, it sounds really amazing. The whole sequencing, storytelling, animations, nostalgia, impact, iconicness, funniness, humorness. I already said that. This is what I meant when I was so close to ranking those A tiers S tier. It's kind of lacking that impact or iconicness that this song has. It's one of the more recent openings, yet it still brings that nostalgia bomb. And finally, we have our last opening currently, opening 26. It's gonna be crazy watching this video in like 10 years when there's like 40 openings. But day of filming this, we're up to opening 26. And I'm gonna have to put it back to back S tier. Aside from how hyped the song is, the new art and animation style is just amazing. There's just so much stuff happening in the opening, especially all the different matchups that are gonna take place. And it just really does a great job of getting you hyped. And I just can't imagine what they're gonna cook up for the Elbaf arc in like 1 year. Definitely gotta enjoy the ride while we're still here, guys. But yeah, guys, that's my One Piece opening tier list. Hope you guys liked it. Let me know what yours is down below. Personally, I actually love every single one of the openings, so don't get butthurt if your favorite is lower on my list. Thanks guys for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.